Hi everyone. So we have the third video in the series of divisibility rules, and here we are going to discuss the divisibility rules of 4, and we are also going to discuss the logic behind this rule, right? So let's read out the rule. So the rule says number found by rightmost 2 digits should be divisible by 4. So they are saying that if the number found by unit place and tens place is divisible by 4, then the whole number will be divisible by 4. So what they are saying, suppose if you have a number like this 124, you have to see only these 2 digits, and the number found by these 2 digits is 24, right? So 24 is there, and now you can divide this 24 by 4 to check if the whole number is divisible by 4 or not. So 4 6 are 24, right? And if a number is divisible by 4, that means if we divide that number by 4, we should get remainder as 0. So 24 minus 24, we are getting 0 as a remainder, right? And what they are saying that if this 24 is divisible by 4, the whole number, whole 124 will also be divisible by 4. So let's check the validity of this rule. So let's try and divide 124 by 4. 4 3s are 12, minus 12 minus 12 gets 0. And if we note down this 4 over here, now we have to divide this 4, and 4 1s are 4. Again we are getting remainder as 0, right? So this means this 124 is completely divisible by 4, right? And we can take few more examples, but before that I would like to discuss the logic behind this divisibility rule. So if you understand the logic behind the divisibility rule, keeping this divisibility rule in mind will be easier for you, right? I am keeping this number as it is and erasing rest of the work which I have done, right? So we have to check the divisibility, and what we are doing, we are just checking the divisibility of last 2 digits, right? So how can you write this 124? This 124 can be written as 100 plus 24. And I think in 3rd standard we have learned one property, the distributive property of multiplication and division over addition. If you have to multiply a plus b by c, then this will be equal to c multiplied by a plus c multiplied by b, right? That means either you can add a and b and then multiply by c, or you can multiply a by c and b by c separately, c multiplied by a and c multiplied by b, and then you can add them, right? So this was the distributive property of multiplication over addition, and similar thing can be written for division also, right? Suppose if you have a number like a plus b which needs to be divided by c, either you do a plus b and then divide it by c, or you can do a by c and b by c separately and then you can add it. You remember where we have learned this? We have learned this in fractions, right? Isn't it? Yes. And this is what we are doing over here. This 124 can be written as 100 plus 24, right? And if we divide this 124 by 4, that will be equal to this whole divided by 4, or as we have discussed over here, this can also be written as 100 divided by 4 plus 24 divided by 4, right? And 100 is divisible by 4. 100 is divisible by 4 25 times. So if you have any number which is 3 digits or more, you can always write it into forms of hundreds and the last 2 digits, right? So this 100 will always be divisible by 4, and if you check the divisibility of these last 2 digits, you can reach to the conclusion whether the whole number will be divisible by 4 or not. And that is the reason why we check the divisibility of only the last two digits of the number. I think it's clear to you now. The reason behind checking the divisibility of only last two digits of the number, right? So yes, this is Math Smart, where we learn the logic behind every step. So this divisibility rule held good for 124, and now I'm going to take one more example to check this divisibility rule. So I'm going to erase all this again. So let me take one random number. So the number is, suppose, 1, 2, 4, 6, right? So as per this rule, we have to check the divisibility of the number found by these two digits, which is 46, right? The reason behind this, as we have discussed, is this 1246 can be written as 1200 plus 46. And since this 1200 is a multiple of 100, this will be divisible by 4. So we have to check the divisibility only for 46, right? So let's see whether this 46 is divisible by 4 or not. 4 ones are 4. If we subtract, 4 minus 4 gives us 0. And now let's note down this 6. 4 ones are 4. And again after subtraction we get 2. Right? So 2 is the remainder. That means the 46 is not divisible by 4. And this also tells us that 1246 is also not divisible by 4. Right? So this was the divisibility rule of 4. We have also learnt the logic behind this rule, and we have verified the logic using few examples.